How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the Character Files, the series where we analyze the history and features behind the long list of characters in video games. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look into one of Mortal Kombat's forgotten ninjas that just so happen to be shrouded in the mists of obscurity. So without further ado, let us dig deep into the Character Files. What may be the most popular fighting game series in the genre, Mortal Kombat has an extensive list of combatants that have appeared as playable characters in the game's roster. Popular characters like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Raiden. When the first rendition of Mortal Kombat hit the scene in 1992, the game grew in popularity amongst the youth as the cool new fighting game with a crazy amount of blood in the bowling alley arcade. There was an increase in the amount of rumors that began to surface around the game as well. Claims of nudity codes and secret characters hidden from the traditional character selection screen. There was one character in particular, a ninja clad in green clothing that would appear before the beginning of matches, claiming to be awaiting the player at the bottom of the pit map. If you haven't guessed it already, that character would come to be known as Reptile. Almost every fan favorite character in Mortal Kombat were all once hidden characters, such as Noob Saibot, Smoke, and Jade, which were all hidden characters in Mortal Kombat 2. As more and more Mortal Kombat titles would be released throughout the 90s and early 2000s, lead developers Ed Boon and John Tobias would start to add more and more secret characters to the game's roster. For example, when using a Game Genie on Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, you could enter a code that would forcibly unlock a hidden fighter named Khameleon. Khameleon was essentially a reskin of Scorpion with no original moveset of his own. However, it wasn't until Mortal Kombat Trilogy released for the Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1, and PC version of the game, where instead of being a palette swap clone of Scorpion, instead he would actively swap between the colors of all the ninja characters while sharing their special moves and fatalities. Like Shang Tsung, if you had a hard time choosing and couldn't decide on a character to pick from, you could always choose Khameleon and swap through the moveset as the fight went on. But as you may have noticed, there was a console I didn't mention. So if Khameleon was only for the Sega, PlayStation, and PC versions of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, what character did the Nintendo 64 version of the game get? Well, for Nintendo players, they didn't get any special treatment from Midway. Instead, they got a female ninja that swapped between the colors of Jade, Melina, and Kitana, while also sporting all their special moves and fatalities, who was also coincidentally called Khameleon, but with a K. It should be mentioned that although the characters have similar names as well as abilities, they are actually two separate characters that both exist in Mortal Kombat's canon. Just like Reptile, Khameleon with a K is a descendant of the Saurians, a race of reptile-like creatures that existed during the beginning of the realms, where they lived amongst the dinosaurs on Earthrealm. That was until a war between Shinnok and the Elder Gods destroyed their homeland and they had to escape to a different realm and establish a new home known as Zaterra, until Shao Kahn would arrive and defeat their strongest warriors and merge Zaterra with Outworld. During Shao Kahn's invasion of Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat 3, Khameleon would emerge from the shadows and reveal herself to Reptile and explain to him that Shao Kahn committed genocide against their people and that she was the final remaining female survivor of their race, and that together they could join powers, defeat Shao Kahn, free their realm from Outworld's control, and once again restore their race. However, due to Shao Kahn's influence over Reptile, he denies her proposal and retaliates against her, forcing Khameleon to retreat and once again hide within the shadows and await for her time to strike. Mortal Kombat 3 will be Khameleon's last appearance up until the Nintendo Wii version of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where she would once again be a character exclusive to Nintendo consoles. When you complete the ladder match with Khameleon, her ending would show that she would use her newfound powers that she gained from Blaze to exact revenge for the sake of her deceased ancestors and destroyed homeland, and defeat Shao Kahn and transform him as well as his followers into raptors that were subservient unto her. However, she didn't have much control over her new powers and ended up turning the remaining forces of light into raptors as well, ultimately restoring her once extinct race. As to her male counterpart, not much is known about Khameleon with a C, not his race or what realm he originally came from. However, many speculate that due to his reptilian name and moveset, as well as the ability to camouflage himself, many believe that Khameleon may actually be a member of the Saurian race, the same race that Reptile and Khameleon with a K are descendants of. There is also a theory that suggests that Khameleon may actually be Chameleon with a K and disguised as a male in order to get closer to his/her love interest, Reptile, despite being rejected after expressing her love to him. While this has yet to be confirmed by anyone in the Mortal Kombat developer team, There is, however, additional canonical information that we can inquire about Khameleon through his latter ending in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. It is said that Khameleon was ever present throughout the entire saga of Mortal Kombat, from Liu Kang's initial victory over Shang Tsung and even the Dragon King's return. However, Khameleon stayed hidden within the shadows, awaiting the moment where his time to strike and emerge from the shadows would be perfect. And that moment would be deemed perfect for Khameleon. While all the other combatants were busy fighting to reach the Pyramid of Argus, Khameleon actually snuck up to the top and defeated Blaze while no one was the wiser, and absorbed Blaze's power for himself. And then he became the most powerful combatant in all the realms, where everyone would now identify him as the true champion of Mortal Kombat. Honestly, with the release of the next game in the series, Mortal Kombat 1 being right around the corner, there's been a lot of people speculating on which characters will be reintroduced into the game. Personally, I would like to see either Khameleon with a K or Chameleon make a return and have a greater significance in the new timeline as compared to the old ones. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode of Character Files, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and check out the community tab of my channel where you could place your vote on the next character that will be the topic of discussion for the next episode. If you're itching for more Character Files, you can click the playlist on the screen that will take you to the Character Files playlist, and you can watch all the Character Files we've analyzed so far. As for now, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.